Hello, welcome to the AudioGO platform walkthrough demo. My name's Ian. I'm excited to walk you through the platform today. I'll show you how to use the tool, how to get things set up. It's pretty straightforward, but just wanted to kind of highlight a few things. So it's a great platform to run on streaming music, online radio, and podcast advertising across a network of premium services. So feel free to check out this video. It's a short video that really kind of walk you through everything. But to get started, go ahead and click this button here. Very typical sign up process. First name, last name, email address, as well as a password. And then you just go ahead and agree to the terms and conditions. Go ahead and click next. That'll get you through to the next part of the sign up flow. And then once you're all set there, anytime you have your account created, it's free, by the way. You can always log in right at the button here. We also have these other resources here. Definitely check them out. So feel free to click on those. But from here, we'll go ahead and log in and take a look at the dashboard. Okay, and so this is what you'll see when you first log into AudioGO if you don't have any campaigns or anything set up already. You can, of course, you'll see down here, you can take a quick tour yourself, but we're going to go ahead and click no thanks and walk through things together here. So you won't see any draft setup yet. This is the first thing you'll see. You can always click that button right in the center there to create for your first campaign to get things started. You can also do the same in the top right, but really on the top right you'll see a lot of controls in the menu here. You'll see billing details, my account, payment history, user management. We'll take a look at a few of these things, but first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and start with the billing details section of the account. This is where you're going to upload your card on file and all that great information. Okay, so next we're going to take a look at the billing details section of the account. This is where you'll upload a card on file. Just like other self-serve tools, we use a card to pay for ads only after they're delivered. And so you'll see here section to add your payment method, so go ahead and click there. And then you'll see a kind of typical sort of form fill. This is where you'll enter in your card, expiration date, security code. Down below is where you'll enter in your billing information. So I'm just going to put in some placeholder information for us here. One thing to note, be sure to include the email address for the financial contact. This can be a separate email address if we like to make it go to someone in the accounting team, whatever it may be. So definitely make sure to note that for clients and for customers. And then just make sure that they have their billing address correct. And of course, this is something that usually the customer will fill in on their end for privacy purposes, but definitely wanted to show you kind of what this page will look like. One thing to note here, you can do United States, Puerto Rico, and Canadian billing addresses. So in case the client wants to run ads in Canada, by all means, please go ahead and include that. So once you have everything in here, you just hit create, and then we're all set. All right, so now I want to show you how to add multiple users to your account. So in that same menu on the top right here, I'm going to scroll down, we'll see user management. And so this is going to allow you to invite maybe team members or potentially clients, anyone you'd like to your account. So you'll see right here, if you haven't invited anyone, you'll be able to invite the first user. You just enter in their email address. And then from there, you'll put in their first, last name. And really what's most important here are the user permissions. So you'll see this down below. And so we have three different options, view, edit, and full access. If you want them to be able to launch campaigns and make edits, absolutely make sure to do full access. Just be sure that if you do that, you'll see this note here. We want to make sure that they're only reliable users. So just be aware of that. But yeah, once you're all set here, you just hit send invitation and that'll send them an email and you'll be all set. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to get started on creating a campaign. So like we mentioned before, you can either use this button near the mouse here, create your first campaign, or on the top right, that'll always be there to create a new campaign. So let's click there. You'll be able to add a payment method here if you haven't already. But here's where you'll be able to drop in the campaign name. This is for your record keeping. Next is the schedule and budget. So with AudioGO, there's really no minimum or long-term contracts or anything like that. All your spend goes directly towards your budget. We also have these easy-to-use buttons here. But yeah, you'll notice you won't be able to put anything below $250. That's our minimum budget, campaign budget for AudioGO. And so it's a $250 campaign minimum with an $18 flat rate CPM. So keep that in mind for clients. You can always back into how many impressions they're going to deliver. So $250 is the minimum. Again, we also have these easy-to-use buttons here. Most advertisers advertise at this level. I'd absolutely recommend recommending this to your client, or $500 to $1,000 to start. Next is the schedule. So with AudioGO, you choose how long the campaign runs. It could be a day, a week, a month. It's really up to you. You can also start it immediately. But for today's example, I'm going to go ahead and select a week runtime here. So that's all set up. Last thing here, you can also choose the day and times of the week that the ads run. So this is our hourly scheduling tool. So you go ahead and click here. This is great if you want to reach people maybe during rush hour traffic, as an example, when they're driving to and from work. So you just block off some hours like this. You absolutely have this flexibility for the most part, since this isn't something like terrestrial radio where whoever's listening to a certain frequency hears the ad at a certain time. With streaming, it's much more of that one-to-one message, right? There has to be a listener on the other end that fits the targeting criteria set. So our thought process is whether it's 10 in the morning or 10 at night, if it's the right listener in the right area, we want to reach them. So for the most part, we recommend either to, like we're doing here, fill it in more or just turn off the tool. So that's the budget and schedule section. Next, we'll look at creating your audio ad. All right, so now that we've entered in a budget and a schedule and got that set up, next it's all about the audio ad. And so a little bit of flexibility here, whether you have your own audio ad or need one created, we could help out either way. So if you have your own ad, you'll see a section here to upload music ad. So you can upload that here, and the spots on AudioGO, they're 30 seconds in length at maximum. You can absolutely include a 15-second spot here. We generally recommend 30. If you're going to do a music ad, drop it in here. If you want to focus on podcasts, you can upload it to the right here. We just ask that there's no background music to kind of fit that listener experience. But yeah, assuming you have your own, you'd upload it here. You click there, find a file on your computer, and go ahead and upload that file. We take MP3s, waves, kind of typical audio files. Now, in case you didn't have your own ad, no problem. We can actually produce one for you, and a good majority of our clients use this service and are very happy. We partnered with a professional voiceover team who make great studio recorded professional ads. So click request ad, and this is all only $10, as you can see on the top. So all you'll need, it's going to be a professional studio recorded ad. We'll make a free podcast version. It's a professional voice actor. You get it back in about 2 business days. Again, all for that $10, and you do get those flexible revisions as well in case there's something off about it. So what'll happen, you'll just drop in a script. We have a lot of resources for you to help there. We just ask that the scripts are 80 words or less to fit nicely in that 30-second slot. We can also make ads in English or Spanish in case you have ever need for that, but it's going to default to English there. Next, a few options here. You'll choose a voice type. So 2 for male, 2 for female. You just make a selection. You'll be able to hear the voice later on. Then you can choose a background track. You can choose no music, or we have a list of tracks here. Feel free to choose one. You can actually preview those in this form, so you'll get a feel for what that sounds like. Go ahead and leave that box checked there because we're just going to create a podcast-friendly version of the ad for free, so leave that. And then the last piece here is any instructions that you have for the voice actor. So any notes around tone or energy, anything like that, go ahead and drop that in here. But assuming you're all set, from here, all we need to do is accept the terms and then submit the request, and then that'll go to our team. We'll get that produced for you in about 2 business days or less. Again, as I briefly touched on, you can always edit this as well. Once you get it back, you can get a revision in case there's anything off about it. So we'll go back to the form, and from here, we'll look at the display ads. Okay, so now we'll take a look at how to get the display ad set up now that we have our audio ad set. So you'll notice we have 3 different sizes that we accept for banners: a rectangle, square, and vertical shape. Please do include all 3. They don't cost anything additional. The companion banners are free of charge, and it can only help maximize your exposure. So definitely include all 3. And in case you didn't have anything on hand, like a logo or anything like that, we could absolutely help you with our integration with Canva. All right. So now I actually went ahead and uploaded an example ad here. You'll see that on the music streaming side of things, as well as just an example banner, so that we can take a look at a few things here. And so you'll see down below that the rectangle banner, again, make sure you include all 3 banners. This is just purely example's sake. Again, yeah, definitely make sure to include everything, as it doesn't cost anything additional to do that. But once we have these in here, you'll actually be able to preview. So you can see the display banner as well as listen to the audio ad, and you'll be able to share this with clients and have them review things with their team. See on the top right there, share preview link. Click that, it'll copy it, and you can go ahead and take that and share it as needed. So just wanted to point that out real briefly here as well. So now that we've seen the preview, we're going to scroll back down to the display ads here. And once you upload a banner, you'll see these two sections pop up here. So first, the destination URL. You can include UTM parameters here and tracking links and link it up with analytics, so please do. We definitely want to get you that visibility. And this is our retargeting feature. Now this is optional, but it's a great tool. It's multi-channel marketing with one click of the button. Really helps increase clicks and conversions and really gets you that, again, that kind of omni-channel marketing just all within one platform. So it's a really great tool. Most folks are really happy with it. It's going to take those same banners that we uploaded. So anyone that's heard the ad later on when they're visiting other websites will actually be able to show them those same banners. So it does come at a 20% increase in cost. You could see that shown in the guide above and the green line below. You can always back into that if you have a certain budget to spend. So it doesn't necessarily have to come at any additional cost, if you will. So definitely recommend the feature. It's a great tool. Also, one thing to note here, this is where once you have an audio ad uploaded, you'll see the language selection. So you can choose if it's in English or Spanish. Just wanted to point that out. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at our targeting options. Now that we have all our audio ad in here, our display banners, those are all ready to go. Now we're going to decide where the ads are going to run and who's going to hear it. So it's all digital. We have a lot of great options. Our 4 high-level options there: location, device, gender, age group. Those are going to something default to all. You can make some selections, but for location, you can go as wide as the United States, and again, we're in Canada and Puerto Rico as well. You can go nationwide, all the way down to an individual zip code, and pretty much everything in between there. You could do cities and counties, counties and cities, bulk upload, zip codes, a ton of options. I'm just going to type in Los Angeles so you can see the different options here: city, county, DMA, MSA, various options. You just make your selection. Let's say you wanted to add another city in here, for example, Pasadena. You just type that in. Go ahead and find the right city and just make that selection. So a lot of flexibility there in terms of targeting. And so we're just selecting the city of LA for today. Once you enter in a budget, schedule, and any location targeting, right, we're going to go ahead and see this audience guide populate with some estimates. So this is really helpful while you're building out your campaign to understand where you stand. That top number, estimated number of impressions, directly tied to your budget. Bottom number is estimated unique listeners. That's how many individuals we're going to reach. And down at the, actually, if you compare those two numbers, that's how we're going to arrive at our estimated frequency per listener, right? So get us a good understanding. So in this example, most people are pretty much hearing it once. This will update when we make any other selections. Here, for example, you'll see this should bring down the audience guide just a bit anytime you make changes. So it is dynamic. It'll change with ages, any targeting. So just to give you a quick example of that, I'm clicking through onto some of these options here just to show you how it can affect the targeting. And so, yeah, the whole point here is just to keep an eye on this while you're building this out. We generally recommend that listeners hear the ads about 3 different times. And so anything you can do to kind of get that unique listener count down in that regard would be helpful. And you'll always see those helpful tips on the right where it says, your selection's fairly broad and the like. So that was just example's sake, I'm going to put some of these options back in. Again, these are going to default to all. You just make selections for device type, gender, and age group. And then down below here, you kind of have the ability to take things one step further. So we can either refine our audience by behavioral segments. This is the listener's interest and status. So things like arts and culture, car buyers, car enthusiasts, cooking, healthy eating, financial planning, food. Again, you name it, a lot of different options available here. So definitely take a look at these and see if there's any that's relevant for you or for your client. And you can do multiple interests together. You can also combine those with statuses as well. These are things like business owners, car owners, employed, engaged, high income, homeowners. Again, variety of various options here. So feel free to make different selections. This is also going to narrow down your targeting. So definitely keep an eye on that when you go ahead and do that. So just as a quick example here, I'm going to click on homeowners. And great. So now you can see that really drop things down since we're focused on 18 to 44 homeowners in the city of LA. And so now we're going to reach a smaller subset of listeners, but they're going to hear the ad more times. So just keep an eye on that on the right there. Of course, we can also target based off what they're listening to. We are talking about streaming here. We have 23 core music genres on the left here. And again, you can do a combination of those. On the right, this is our talk and podcast. This is specifically our podcast categories. So if you just want to run on podcast, this is where that lives. And we have a variety of options here: business-related podcast, music, news, science, true crime, kids and family, you name it. A lot of options here as well. And you can also combine those. So these are kind of our refining options. If you didn't want to refine it, you can just kind of leave it as is, but we definitely recommend to kind of take it one step further and really narrow things down so listeners can hear the ad more times. Now, this is a great feature as well. This is our audio pixel. So this is a great way to track activity on a certain web page from anyone who's heard your ad. Go ahead and click that generate code. It'll get you some code. You copy the code, take it to your website. We have this great install guide here on how to set this up, and you just insert this into the web page of your choosing. Great way to track things. Definitely recommend it. From here, you can save a draft campaign, or if you're ready to go, you just hit schedule. So that's setting up a campaign. Let's take a look at the reporting. All right, so now we're going to take a look at our high-level dashboard view. This is going to update every 20 minutes or so, somewhat in real time. So this is as if we launched some campaigns recently. You could see, if you have multiple, you'll see them down below. What you'll see here is the budget so far that we spent out of the total, how many ads we've delivered, unique individuals reached, as well as a couple conversion metrics here. So this is the high-level view. You can always export that to get these metrics. Let's go ahead and click into the campaign to get some more individual metrics here for the campaign report. All right, so now we're going to actually click into the campaign itself to show you some more details here. So here's an example of a campaign. Again, that's the high-level view. Click on it. It'll take you to the campaign report. Here you're going to get a deeper breakdown across all the targeting you selected. You can always export this high-level report, and then you can always edit and duplicate campaigns as well, but definitely recommend downloading these CSV files. There's some bit more data in there, particularly around retargeting and the like. But yeah, for the daily trends chart, you'll see impressions, listeners, clicks, spend, and then if we include that pixel, you see those conversions there. This is all on a daily basis. And then from here, you're going to get a breakdown across all the other targeting like I mentioned. So you can view location by state, city, and zip codes, and these are going to show top 10. You'll get a little more details in that CSV, so definitely download that. Same goes for device breakdown across age ranges, as well as gender and behavioral segments or stream content, depending on how we refine our audience. That's what we're going to see here. So you get some great insights into the campaign, where your ads are going, and that's effectively it for the dashboard here. All right, well, hopefully that was insightful and helpful for folks here. Appreciate you taking the time to learn about the platform and how to get things set up. And it really is pretty straightforward. I know we took some time to stop at every step of the way, but it's really easy to get started. So thanks again for the time here, and please do reach out if you have any questions.